Hello, folks. In this video, I wanted to talk about bad choices, right? Kind of related to compromises also. When you make bad choices, you compromise on the good things. And of course, it's a very relative, subjective term. For example, let's say for me, for example, my employer would want me to actually work a lot and make a lot of progress and overwork and whatnot, right? Like they'd be happy if I actually worked a lot and performed a lot. But overworking is a bad thing for me. It's a bad choice. So if I choose to actually overwork, I'm compromising probably on other things. For example, if I have a family, I'm probably not spending enough time with family. And then if I have other hobbies and I'm not spending enough time on my other hobbies or activities that give me joy, and things like health, I'm not sleeping enough and stuff like that. So for me, overworking is a bad choice, but for someone else, maybe overworking is a good choice. Maybe because they want to make more money. Because when you overwork, the company is probably going to pay you more, reward you, and reward the behavior of overworking and hustling, and it's going to be like, okay, this is great. So great performance. Let me actually give you a better salary. But of course, if they don't give you a better salary, not a great thing. I'm sure people who consider overworking as a good choice are very smart enough to, change companies in case they are not being rewarded for their overworking behavior and hustling behavior and good performance, great performance, amazing performance. What I wanted to talk about is like we live in a world where it's easy to make bad choices. It's easy to make choices that are actually bad for you. For example, in my view, there are so many easy bad choices that someone can make that is just not great for them, very harmful for them. For example, everywhere I go to, it's very easy to actually get junk food. Junk food is very easily accessible. It's available everywhere because there's a lot of high demand. The high demand has been created the high supply, and also the way the food has been engineered. These food items are engineered to be addictive and to be tasty, and it's really hard for a naturally occurring food to be as tasty as these artificial food that we get today in so many packets. A lot of packaged food, which is junk, is just like engineered within labs using spices and artificial flavors, added flavors, and added sugar and salt and refined items and whatnot. It's just not great. A lot of processing, ultra processing, and whatnot. I didn't know until very late that there's a term called ultra processed food. Anyway, you can actually, every side you turn to, you can actually see a lot of packaged items, fried items, deep fried items, ultra processed food, biscuits, and full of sugar and maida and whatnot. Uh, Things that are not great for you, really, in my opinion and view. Chips and whatnot. Just a lot of tasty food, of course. It's good for your tongue. It's probably very nice for your tongue, but it's not good for your body and your mind and health. This includes your physical health, mental health, emotional health, and all that. You can probably go and read more about how ultra processed food can actually affect your brain, your body, and how it affects your, say, gut, your system, your body in general, and how it's bad for you in the long term. And in the moment it'll feel nice, but afterwards it'll not be nice. So what else? Like it's easy to make bad choices. Like we live in a world where many entities, many people want us to make bad choices for their own gains. Like all these food companies, food and beverages companies, F&B is called in short. All these food and beverages companies want to actually want you to actually make a bad choice, like, buy sugary drinks, buy all this fizzy drinks, carbonated sugary drinks, or the whole set of Coke, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Mirinda, Mazda, Slice, whatever, right? And the whole set of even natural juices that they say they call it natural. I don't know how good and natural it is, but I don't think they are just thinking about you in general. I think they just want to make money, and a lot of companies just want to make money, and they would just not be worried about you making a bad choice or a good choice. And in a lot of cases, you're probably making a bad choice, and the business, regardless of what happens to you, they just want you to make a choice that's profitable for them. Same goes for companies that you work for. The companies want you to overwork and whatnot. They're fine if you overwork. They're happy if you overwork. Overjoyed if you overwork, and they don't care if you're actually a great father or a great parent or a great brother or great sister or great son, great daughter, and whatnot. They don't care. They don't care if you're a great friend. They don't care if your health is great. They'll just provide you health benefits, and then if you're sick, they'll just say you can take a sick leave and whatnot. But that's all. Like it's a business. So yeah, I mean, a lot of entities out there, they want you to make a choice that's beneficial for them, but most probably not beneficial for you. There are a lot of businesses like that out there, and they just care about the profits, I think, and they don't really care about the bad effects, and bad side effects that they have on their consumers, their users. In case of companies employing people, their employees and whatnot. They think that what will one chips packet do to a person, or what will one cook. Probably they think like that, or I don't know what they think. But any layman would think like that, right? But then no one usually stops with one chips packet. Like they probably eat a multiple of them over their lifetime, and I wonder how much is required to actually badly damage someone's health. But ideally, it shouldn't even go inside your mouth, is what I feel, in my opinion. Like, but then, of course, people make their own choices. They're free to do anything they want. And no one is going to ban these companies and all because they're not poison or they're not narcotic drugs that they're addictive. I mean, there are alcohol companies that are open and not banned. There are cigarette companies that are open and not banned. So many companies that are open and not banned and that are not really great for health. Well, I don't know. I mean, banning doesn't. And banning is one way, one solution, but usually banning just doesn't make sense. I think it makes it more worse. Probably people will just still go for it illegally. Maybe. Ideally, I think consumers should be made aware of junk food, the bad effects of it, and consumers and users should be made aware of good food, good stuff, good healthy lifestyles and healthy stuff, and they should make the right choices and understand that it's easy to make wrong choices or bad choices. For example, there's social media. A lot of social media is good for entertainment, yes, but along with the entertainment, they also mix the addicting factor, right? Like they engineer the systems, social media systems, to be addictive. Like, for example, say I'm on LinkedIn. I feel LinkedIn is very addictive, or even something like even Wikipedia for me is addictive. You might say, what? But the thing is this, right? Like, I love like reading and like, learning things. But then it's kind like knowledge is kind of like food, I guess. Like, you can't eat too much at once in a day and whatnot. You will just be too full, and it has its own problems. Similar to that, if I just scroll through LinkedIn and scroll through Wikipedia and read through everything, which I would love to, but then my brain can only take up so much, right? LinkedIn has so much good content for learning things and whatnot. A lot of wisdom out there, a lot of interesting anecdotes and whatnot. So, and same for Wikipedia, right? So, sorry. Well, like if I keep looking at it and let's say I'm just consuming the content on, say, Wikipedia, LinkedIn, and whatnot. And even I think Instagram and others also have like great content, like say quotes, wisdom, life quotes, and whatnot, and interesting anecdotes and whatnot, and life hacks and all. Then, and I don't apply them, then my brain just starts to, struggle to process all of this information, right? And at some point, it's going to give up and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm like tired, right? My eyes will also be tired, like processing all of that, reading all of that, and like, consuming all of that. And it's screens, right? So my eyes are going to be tired. So, yeah, I mean, you need to understand what is addictive for you, what you love, what you like, food, say your hobbies or social media, whatever. When it becomes too much, it becomes tricky. And for example, in the case of LinkedIn, it's hard for me to even realize that, hey, I'm actually spending a lot of time on LinkedIn. It's like, it's addictive. It's been built like that. They are all billion-dollar industries, right? All these Facebook, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp, Instagram, and Snapchat, whatever is out there, TikTok, whatever, right? And then even all these like food and beverages businesses, and even all these companies that hire us, they're all smart, of course. That's why they are all big and they are all wealthy and rich, right? So it's hard for me to even realize that, hey, I'm actually spending a lot of time on, say, LinkedIn or on the internet, actually, um, say, lost on the internet, because every content is actually created to hook you into it, right? And you can easily get hooked into it if you like the content, right? And you usually like the content because you go looking for content that you like. And but you need to understand moderation. Moderation is always key. Like, this is that something that I always read in terms of food, especially. um, Even if you eat healthy food doesn't mean you can actually overeat it. It is not really healthy to overeat, even if it's a healthy food. This is something that I've been trying to learn and apply. That's the thing, right? Your brain can only learn so much in a day. Your digestive system can only process so much food at a time and whatnot. If you overfeed your brain, your digestive system and whatnot, it's going to struggle. So it's again easy to make a bad choice over there, right? So you need to understand when to stop, and when to make the right choice of like, hey, okay, I need to stop. This is too much. Let me just try to apply the learnings that I had today. Let me not overwork today. Let me just stop now and continue tomorrow and try to be more efficient and not overwork. Let me make a choice of not eating, say, junk food, or eating less of junk and not too much junk. Understand that I'm actually overeating junk, when I'm overeating junk, when I'm emotionally eating, because emotional eating is also a thing, stress eating and whatnot, right? And then eating to actually feel good is a popular thing, right? So people try to use food to control their emotions, to feel good and whatnot. Do you live to eat versus do you eat to live? Right? Do you eat to get energy, to get your proteins, carbohydrates, fat, fiber, and all that, vitamins, minerals, the whole nutrients? Or do you actually live to eat, to enjoy the food in terms of like the taste and whatnot, regardless of if it's healthy or not, right? So understand the choices you're making and understand that every choice you make, there is a related choice you're making. Like if you're overworking, you're probably compromising on something else. And like I said, in this world, it's easy to make bad choices, to spend a lot of time on your phone, to consume too much content without applying and learning, without letting your brain to actually understand and apply and learn and for it to stick. Because you have to actually apply and practice some learnings to actually for it to stick and like stay, or else your brain is just processing a lot and just gonna struggle and just forget it. What's the point then? This is one mistake that I make a lot. Like I read a lot and then I'm just like, okay, I am just tired. I need to sleep because my brain just processed a lot of content. But then I'm just probably gonna forget it. Then what's the point? The point of learning and reading and like gaining knowledge is to actually apply it. Of course, like learning and knowledge is great, but usually it's better when it's applied so that it stays, right? Or else there has to be some other way for it for you to make it stay. And but yeah, sometimes I just read to just learn. It's just nice to learn. I just crave knowledge. This is similar to like craving food. But and someone might say, hey, it's just nice to just read. But I also think that applying is also great as long as you can apply. If you can't apply, then yeah, you'll have to resort to other methods to actually see how you can retain the knowledge and ensure that it's useful to actually learn that thing and retain that knowledge and whatnot, or it's just for the fun of it you just learned. So, anyways, that's probably a different conversation for another day, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to talk about this whole bad choices, easy to make bad choices in this world, and the whole compromises and whatnot, and how other people would want to make choices that are great for them but not great for you. You have to be really wary of it, and so yeah, beware and look at what choices you're making and who is influencing those choices and how is it influencing you, why is it influencing you, what is the reward for each of the choices, and what is the backlash for these choices. Like if you overwork, the backlash is probably your health gets affected and things like that, stress or whatever, lack of sleep and things like that. So yeah, don't just try to make other people happy. Say your leader, your manager, your lead, tech lead, your company, or say your say friends who love junk food and they want to eat junk food with you, or I don't know, anyone who doesn't have skin in the game, in the sense that a lot of people, they might say, or they would say that I care about you, but then I think you are the only person who cares about you the most than anyone else in an ideal scenario, yes. Unless you are actually in a bad situation and not in a great state where you feel that you care about yourself. In an ideal state, I think you're the only person who cares about yourself the most. And I think anyone else comes later because it takes you to be you. No one else can be you, and no one else is going to actually face the consequences of your choices. Only you will most probably face the consequences of your choices. So most probably only you have skin in the game. Very rarely other people will have skin in the game, unless it's a spouse or a kid, like a child, whatever. Very few other people or family and all. Very few other people will have skin in the game in your life. So beware and understand what's right for you, and experiment and experience different things and try to understand what works and do better. So yeah, keep trying your best. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.